I just, I think we need um, an independent. You know what I mean? I think we need to get away from this swamp that we've got in there. Right now under the Conservative Party, that tag, the MAGA movement, whatever. And I think that, we can't really align with a Democrat right now because they're fucked, Gavin Newsom and all them fucking dickheads. So,
Dude,
we
and
need change,
Gavin Newsom has been digging himself a fucking hole. I'm talking like it's going to China where he, loves to be apparently. But
Mhm.
cuz you've seen all the fucking um fraud that's coming out, from all the audits and everything coming out from
Oh yeah.
fucking yeah. So let me see if I can bring it up here. Yeah, so that high speed rail that was supposed to be fucking uh yeah, so $18 billion for this high speed rail that's been here. Let me hang
That
on.
Musk was supposed to be heading up, right?
No. This was a California state thing. Musk had nothing to do with
Yeah.
it.
I thought Elon Musk had something to do with that though.
I'm 99% sure it had nothing to do with it because this was something that was brought through from the California state government to get federal funding. Okay, so here.
Okay, Elon Musk proposed the Hyperloop in 2013 as a faster, cheaper, open source alternative to California's then struggling high speed rail HSR project.
See, that's what I'm saying. This
Envisioning,
was
yeah,
different. Yeah.
yeah, it is. Okay, I see that.
Yeah. So here's what we got so far, right? Former chief of staff indicted November 2025, okay, on 23 federal counts, including bank and wire fraud for allegedly siphoning $225,000 from a doormat campaign fund belonging to Xavier Becerra and claiming over 1.7 million in fraudulent tax deductions for personal luxuries. Okay. Unemployment insurance fraud during COVID-19 payments, which we know all of that shit was a fucking fraud for money laundering from the
Mhm.
government. The California Employment Development Department paid out an estimated $32 billion in fraudulent claims. $32 billion in fraudulent claims, and that's federal
God
money.
damn.
Okay, and then homelessness spending. This was the kicker, right? California spent approximately $24 billion on homelessness programs trying to combat it in less because California has the highest homeless rate in all of the nation, right?
Yeah.
Over 5 years. But the homeless rate has increased over 20% in that 5 years with $24 billion spent on fighting homelessness.
Fucking nuts.
Okay.
It is nuts.
Yeah. High risk agencies and statewide vulnerabilities report, blah, 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 blah. Yep. Aggregated across 76 aggravated risk exceeds $76 billion across programs like CalFresh, $2.5 billion in improper payments. Oh my God, dude. Let's go to this high speed rail real quick. So yeah, in 2008, voter approval for this high speed rail, right? And it has gone up to about 33 to $45 billion for this high speed rail. Okay. And the construction in the ongoing valley, blah, 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 blah. So my understanding is that they have laid like less than 100 yards of track. And Chevron just left California officially to move to Houston. So Chevron gas prices are about to jump over there.
Well, Chevron bought out Hess is why. So Chevron bought Hess, and now they're going to be moving into Hess's facilities.
No high speed rail track has been laid yet. None, actually.
That's nuts.
That is fucking insane that they've spent that much, but have gotten zero done.
I wonder what the only thing I can think of.
It's all of their fucking regulations they have, paying for surveys and environmental studies and all these fucking other bullshit. And of course, they're fucking probably money laundering. Yeah. So it's insane, dude. It's fucking insane. And yet when you look at the polls, the Cal sheet and stuff like that, Gavin Newsom is still leading as the front runner.
It's
But
because
that
of
lets
all
you know
the
they have zero fucking people to choose from.
well, it's that and uneducated voters. So they're going to vote for and they lean towards the ones that they hear over and over in the media,
Uh-huh.
and that's the only name that they know. So when they get asked or they look at a polling data, they say, "Oh, well, out of these names, who would you vote for?" Well, if the only name they see on that paper is Gavin Newsom, and they've heard it in the media and they hear it on the radio and they hear
That's
it
one
through
of the
word
ones
of mouth.
they know who that person is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's off of name recognition is why he's leading in the polls. It's not about his policies or his voting record or
Yeah.
his record in the state. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's insane that people, I think hang on real quick. Because I took time to do this because this is how much I fucking hate California.
And the problem is Austin's turning like that too, though.
Yeah. Took time to put this together. I put this together a while back. Yeah. I put this together in July. Okay. So I titled this California's Downfall. Okay. Unemployment rate 5.4% overall. Okay. Now, obviously, that doesn't equate to homeless, right? So, unemployment rate, that's tied for the highest in the nation. Unemployed approximately is over 1 million people in that entire state unemployed. That's the highest in the nation. Receiving unemployment benefits between 513,000, 718,000. This is approximate. This is back in July, by the way. That's the highest in the nation. California is paying out unemployment benefits to more people in that state than any other. Homelessness. They estimate that there's over 158,000 homeless in the state. Again, highest in the nation. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
when you go down the taxes, okay, combined taxes, state and federal, depending on where you are and how much you make, right, is how much you get taxed, right? So it's ranked 7th when it comes to the state, right? So, or not the state, the federal. So it goes to between 33.5 to 50%, depending on where you fall, right? So you can be, on the lower end where, most of the nation goes, or again, you can be in the highest in the fucking nation, right?
Yeah.
50. So, and where people, what is it? I can't remember what the number is. I want to say it's like 350 or 400,000 is where they consider you quote unquote high income, where they start really getting you up, right?
Mm-hmm.
50% plus for millionaire households, which when you live in California, you pretty much have to be a fucking millionaire.
Yeah.
Okay. There are 1.35 to 1.4 millionaire households in California.
God damn.
So you have that many people who make over $1 million a year getting taxed at 50 fucking percent. Okay. And California has the highest number of millionaires in the US. Now, state sales tax 8.802. That's the highest in the nation.
Okay, hold on. So before you go further, so you said they've got the highest number of millionaires in the U.S. Now, here's the thing: if you own a house that is over $1 million, then by calculation,
I went off of
with
income,
assets,
not. I went off of income, not assets.
Okay, it's going off income, not assets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah. So state sales tax 8.802%, which is the highest in the nation. State income tax between 1 to 13.3%, depending on how much you make, obviously. Again, highest in the nation. Fortune 500 companies that have left in the past 5 years. This is back in July. I'm sure there's been more. There was 8 at that time that have left in the past 5 years back in July. and that was more than any other state in the nation.
Yeah.
Okay. And then California's violent crime rate is 30 to 35.8% above the national average.
Damn.
Why does anybody want to live there?
Yeah. Now, I wonder how many Fortune 500 companies are based out of California.
It
Because
wasn't a
if you
lot.
go off, what's that?
It wasn't a lot when I put this together, but
Because if you go off a percentage, 8 off of, 100 Fortune 500 companies, that's 8% of Fortune 500 companies that are based out of, California. You
yeah.
know, it makes me wonder how many off of percentage, have bounced out of there. Because I know we picked a lot up here in Texas, whether it's Dallas or Houston or,
Even
Austin
Austin.
or
Yeah.
yeah.
Because because you got to think about it, like one of the biggest employers, which was Elon with Tesla,
Mhm.
they moved from there to Austin. I drive by there
Yeah.
all the time when I'm going to San Antonio,
Yeah.
But again, it's 99% of the time it's because of just the regulations over there that make it
Yeah.
impossible to do business.
And
So
tax rates. Yeah.
tax rates too. But I would say that the bigger issue when it comes to why California is losing big business, it's regulation over taxes. Because
Yeah.
corporations can always find their way around fucking taxes, but
Yeah.
regulations is where they cannot. So,
Yeah.
but there was this thing that when like I said, when I said like Chevron had left California, there was this interview with the CEO of Chevron talking about how he had reached out to Gavin Newsom's like, hey, I want to talk about this. He didn't want
Yeah.
to leave. They had
Yeah.
been there. They had started there. They had been there. That's where they've always
Yeah.
been. Like it's like, look, you can only stay somewhere because it's like, it's sentimental. It's where you started. It's where everything began. You can only do that so long if the state is like with you, which Gavin Newsom in California have made it
Mhm.
abundantly clear that they are against big oil in all shape or form.
Yeah.
So, and he had
Yeah.
sent a text to Gavin because when you're that big, that high up on the food chain, you gotta have the governor's cell phone number in your back
Oh
pocket,
yeah.
right? He had said he had
Mhm.
sent a text to Gavin Newsom, um, asking like, "Hey, I want to talk about this," and apparently Gavin says like, "I have nothing to talk about." Kind of like his response, like, "Wow, like you realize how many like you're not just affecting the people that work for that company that live in your state, you're going to affect everybody else in that state because of the Chevron gas companies." So yeah, so I'm in the process personally moving Texas, and the company moving to Texas, and the company is moving our headquarters there as well after 145 years in California. Dude, 145 years, and they leave
Mhm.
because of fucking Gavin Newsom and the way they're being treated.
Yeah, just think of how big of a GDP hit that is on California with Chevron moving out of there.
Yeah, yeah. Mike Worth, chairman and CEO. Oh, here we go. Okay, so it was an interview with Fox News
It was in the
Live.
Wall Street Journal when Mike Worth, the CEO of Chevron, was getting ready to move Chevron out of California, texted him and said, "When I make this announcement, I'd like to tell you before you read about it." Gavin Newsom replied essentially, quote, "I don't need to talk about it. I'm good."
Did you hear that?
Move Chevron.
I don't need to talk about it. I'm good. Like, he does not
What a
care
punk is
about.
that?
He seriously like he has no fucks given about the people in his state and the people it's going to affect once that company leaves, the people that are working there, because not everybody's going to be able to uproot their family and move to Houston or Texas. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah.
it's just insane for people to. I mean, obviously he's coming up on his term limit, because because the next election for California governor, he can't, like, he's done. But look at all the damage he's already fucking done. Like, holy shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's
Fucking
just
ridiculous.
it's insane, dude. And then no, I mean you get to the point where you got Tom McDonald making songs about you. So,
Yeah.
and if he
Yeah.
comes out making a song about you, that's not good. But shout
Yeah.
out Tom McDonald, fucking goat here.